Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Monday, February the 12th. Welcome to our video commentary. Just a quick note about February the 12th. This is Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. There's a lot of great stuff you can read about Abraham Lincoln. I mean, there's books. You can go to Amazon and see dozens of books. So you can read lots of things about him. I put one in my blog today, which I found very interesting, and that is a book called The Wit and Wisdom of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was really a very profound man, and he had lots of big quotes, and you'll enjoy that, as well as he was a man who really knew how to use humor also. So I would recommend that book to begin your reading of Abraham Lincoln. Let's talk a little bit about the Olympics and what is going on in the Olympics. I'm not really following it. I'm not a big fan of the Winter Olympics, but I know some people are, and that's great. But there's a fascinating story about this young woman from North Korea. We will call her the sister of the dictator. I don't know their full name, so I'll just say the dictator and his little sister. And she's down, and she's putting on quite a campaign, and a lot of the Western media is just eating it up, like she was some big superstar from the North. The truth is, she's not a defector. This is a woman who has lived in a family that has run that country to the ground. People are literally starving in that country. It is pathetic. It is a human rights disaster. And this young woman is part of that family. Now, maybe she's not herself responsible for the crime or the murder, but she's part of the family. And we're treating her like some kind of a big superstar. Now, what I find ironic is the other night, President Trump presented a man at the State of the Union, a man who actually escaped North Korea. And, that's who we should be celebrating, not this young woman who is basically a part of the family that has been running that country. And again, she herself may not be responsible for all the crimes that have been committed, but she's part of the family. And you have to hold that family accountable for what they have done. It's absolutely pathetic what they have done up there. And what makes all of this fawning, if you will, over this young woman is that there are 3 Korean Americans being held in North Korea right now in political prisons for charges that are bogus, to say the least. And these 3 Korean Americans are being held up there. And their families, I'm sure, have got to suffer when they see the kind of attention that this young woman is getting in the Olympics. The other day they were, showing pictures of her not far from Vice President Pence, and I congratulate Vice President Pence for not meeting with her or shaking her hand. That's the right thing to do. Now, look, like anybody else, I would love to see a reconciliation of the situation in the Korean Peninsula. A war with North Korea would be devastating, would be deadly. It would cost the lives of God only knows how many people, because it would just be horrible. There's no pretty way to fight a war against North Korea. So if this is a reconciliation, I'm very happy to see a reconciliation happen in that peninsula, because again, a military action would be so horrifying. We would win, but it would be at the expense of thousands, perhaps even potentially 1 million people who would be killed in the peninsula. So if this is the beginning of reconciliation, let it be. Let it be. But it could also be something that the Soviets used to do, called a charm offensive, when they would from time to time go to the West and be charming, hoping to buy some time for whatever they were planning to do. So we don't know what the dictator of North Korea has in mind. Maybe he's getting pressure from China to reconcile. We don't know. Nobody really knows. What we do know is that over the last week, while the West, or many in the Western media, have been just going ballistic and so happy to see his little sister, I don't think anything has been, I don't know that any nuclear missiles have been destroyed by North Korea. I don't see them removing troops from the border. In other words, it's the same old North Korea. They just happen to have a pretty little sister who's attending the Olympics. And that's basically what this is all about. So I'm skeptical, and I'm really disappointed with the coverage of the Western media about this young woman. Again, she herself may not be responsible for the killing, but her brother is. Her brother is a brutal killer, and she's accountable because she's part of the family, and she's been living under a lot of privilege in North Korea. There's lots and lots of women in North Korea who don't look as good as she does because they don't have food, and they don't have all that Western clothing that this young woman has. So the media sometimes really disappoints us, don't they? Or some of them, I shouldn't say all of them, but some of them really disappoints us. Thank you for watching. We've got all of these commentaries over at YouTube. We also have them on Twitter, and we have them on my blog. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And don't forget about Abraham Lincoln's birthday. If you have a chance, read up something about Mr. Lincoln. He's really an amazing historical figure. Bye-bye, everybody.